Did Jim lose respects from the other comics when he sided with Anthony over longtime friend and employer Vinny Brand after Ant bit and choked Danny? Oh my God. Wow. That's like, wow, bro. You just lit a fuse and what, ran away on me? Look, man. Look, man, I was part of Crazy Town. I'll just say that. I was part of Crazy Town. Jimmy goes where Jimmy is a simpleton. He goes where people are going to make him the most money and give him the most exposure, and that is it. That's what it's based on, and that's what it's always been based on. When me and Anthony I'll leave you with this. Oh my God, I'm not going to talk about that, which was pure insanity. I mean, the stuff I could talk about with Anthony, but I chose not to. You think I'd take my shots at Anthony? Get the hell out of here. I know all about all this stuff. I could sit here and really go off, but you're not going to really find me going off on a lot of this other stuff. But I'll say this about Jimmy. Jimmy goes where the money is and where the exposure is and who could bring in the most ticket sales. And when Opie and Anthony were hot, Jim Norton loved us to death. And then in 2002, we got fired for Sex for Sam. Technically, they paid our contract, but look, it was a firing, but they paid us. Jimmy quickly hopped on the Colin Quinn bandwagon because now Colin Quinn was hot when we were off the air for 2 years. And we went to a roast. And everyone pointed this out, and it was funny and all that, but there was some realism to it. I forgot whose roast it was. It might have been Patrice O'Neill, maybe Voss. I'm trying to remember. And we were invited, and we weren't working. And me and Anthony walked in. I think we might have been getting along a little bit at that. There were times we got along, but it was short-lived. We walked into the comedy club for the roast, and we sat down. And Jimmy chose to sit right next to Colin Quinn instead of us. And everyone pointed it out that they were using the term worm way back then. Like, look, and then because they're all comedians, they're making fun of me and Anthony. Like, oh, look, they can't do anything for Jim anymore. So he's not sitting with those guys. He's sitting with Colin because Colin had his TV show at the time. I forgot the name of the show on Comedy Central. And, as much as it was funny and they beat the shit out of us and kind of roasted us, a matter of fact, the comedians that were part of the roast were pointing it out from the stage. But there's realism to that. Because then when Opie and Anthony, that show went off, broke up when Anthony went off on his racist tirade, Jimmy chose to continue with me, even though he didn't want to do radio with me, but he knew that's where the money was and that's where he would get his ticket sales from. So everything Jimmy does, to answer this question sort of, is based on who could help him more. And then he'll show loyalty that way. And that is a fact, Jack.